me with the truth. Don't pull your punches, and I'll brace myself for all this pain. Erase myself and start again. Grab a hold of me and throw me in the deep end. Show me the flame that burns inside of me, and I'll brace myself for all this pain. Erase myself and start again, and I'll face myself with honesty. Erase myself and start again. Yeah, yeah. I can't remain without the refiner. It's time to change what used to define me. Resist the pain, I have to keep fighting. Ignite the flame that's deep down inside me. It hurts at first, but worth all the pain to see myself and not be ashamed. It hurts at first, but worth all the pain to see myself and not be ashamed. And I'll brace myself for all this pain. Erase myself and start again, and I'll face myself with honesty. Erase myself and start again. I toss and turn and tick by talk, the hours burn, pleading for this night to end. A part of me begging to go back to sleep. It sure is easy, but not for me. So here I am with all I have, waking up, facing what's in front of me. I to dream. You're not worthless. You have purpose. Wake up, see it. Time to dream So here I am, with all I am. I'm waking up. I'm facing what's in front of me. I won't back down. I can't stop now. I'm waking up, so I can start to dream. So here I am, with all I have. I'm waking up. I'm facing what's in front of me. I won't back down. I can't stop now. I'm waking up. So I can start to dream. Your smile so deceptive that it almost looks real. Well, it must be hard to fake what you do not really feel. You're hiding, I know it. Tell me what's on your mind. I only wish to help. Won't you let me back inside? Say that it's over. Tell me the truth just one last time. I promise I'll help you. If only you'll let me back inside. Let me inside. Your face shows no reaction when I call out your name. Your presence like a ghost. You seem so far away. And you know that I love you, but the words seem to have died. I just want this to end. Please let me back inside. Say that it's over. Tell me the truth just one.
Well, good evening, folks, or good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Quincy Kane here, and this is live stream number 166. And for this segment, I'm sharing with you guys my process. We've done this before, my process for producing songs, for producing music. And we've talked about different things. I've showed you guys how I go about recording vocals, how I handle creating guitar tones and recording that. I've broken down what went into the process of creating some of the songs I've released and different things like that. And we've done songwriting segments as well, too. And for this segment, I want to try something a little bit different. We've done songwriting segments before, but usually I will come up with some random idea to use as an example. I'll come up with a random idea and then just show you guys how I take that initial idea and play around with it and sort of see what it becomes, sort of see what you discover from it and how it can become more of a song and not just an idea. And that's kind of a really interesting thing. So one thing I'm going to be trying today is a little different. Rather than taking a random idea, this is actually a song that I'm planning to release this year. This isn't just some random idea. This is an idea that I've had, and I'm intending to release the song this year. And it's still in its infancy. It's still very much in its early ideas. I have sort of a foundation for the song arrangement. I kind of have a vision for what I want it to be, but I have not written. Right now it's just a single instrument and the vocals. I have the melody for the vocals. I don't have lyrics completely. I have some lyrics for the chorus, but don't have lyrics for the rest of the song. Don't know what the other instruments are going to do. So we're going to see. We're going to dive in. So you guys kind of get a sneak peek of this song, and then later you'll be able to hear the final product when I release it later. But let's catch up with the chat. Hey, Stan, we got Stan in the chat. We got Ray in the chat. Hey, Ray, hope you're doing well. Appreciate you tuning in. Stan saying, loving this setup for waiting for the stream. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you like the countdown. Yeah, that shout out to Amanda who helped me out with that. But Stan, hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good week. Ray, hope you're having a good week as well. And by all means, if you guys ever have any questions during this, feel free to ask them. But we're going to dive into it. I'll show you guys what I got going on here. So right now you can see I've got myself minimized, and you can see my software in the background here. So this you've seen this before, but this is the software template that I use for working on my music. Basically, you've got all these different tracks here and this timeline, and in each track you can put a different sound. You can put different instruments or whatever it might be. So let me talk a little bit about what this song is and give you guys a little background about it, and then we'll work into it. Stan also likes the background. Well, thank you. I always kind of just try different colors, so glad you're digging the color combination. All right. So this is a song that I am planning to release this year. I've picked out 6 songs. I have a feeling I'm only going to be able to release 5 this year, but I've got 6. So in case I can catch up, speed up the production schedule, then maybe I can get a 6th song out before the year ends. But most likely it's going to be 5 songs. Now each of those songs will have a stripped down version. So technically you could count it as 10 songs if you want, but it's really just 5 songs and then 2 versions of each song. So this song I'm planning to release closer to the end of the year. There's a few other songs that are further along. They're almost finished, and or just for dynamic reasons, I want to release them. I don't want to release too many similar songs back to back. I try to be kind of dynamic, almost like an album. So if I put out something heavy, then maybe the next song will be a little more laid back. And if I put out something really catchy, maybe the next song is going to be a little more experimental and not quite so radio single pop-ish. But we'll see. Again, that's kind of the plan, but plans can change and adapt. Hey, Jack, hope you're doing well. We're just getting started. So this particular song, this is one I wrote on piano, and I probably came up with this idea maybe a couple years ago. It's fairly new. It's a fairly recent idea. I probably came up with the piano idea first, and I was like, okay, there's something cool here. I kind of liked the notes I was hitting. I liked the melody. But what really sells me on an idea and makes me want to go through with it and turn it into a song is definitely when I have the vocal melody. So when I start singing along and I kind of find out what I want the vocals to do, that's when it's like, ooh, I really like this. I like the way this moves me emotionally, and that's when I want to start doing this. So some of you guys are familiar with my song, Love's Not Fair. You've heard that song. That's kind of a softer song of mine. It's primarily acoustic guitar, but as the song progresses, more instruments join in. More instruments come in, and it builds up to this climax in the bridge. So the bridge and the final chorus are big and powerful with all the instruments together. This song is kind of going to be similar, but instead of acoustic guitar, it's going to be piano. It's going to start out with just a piano, and gradually as the song goes, it's going to build up. And so the big part of the song is definitely going to be the bridge and the last chorus. That's where the song is going to reach its peak. And going to see how it's going. Stan saying, Quincy, this is going to be crazy. Hopefully so. We'll see. Hey, Nuke, hope you're doing well. you're taking song ideas, write a song about the ceiling being your best friend. I mean, NoFX wrote Linoleum, why not the ceiling? That's actually a pretty cool idea for a song, but no, I'm not taking ideas. I'm actually sharing with you guys an idea that I have that is going to be a song. This is a song that's very much early in its idea form. I kind of have a vision for it, but I haven't really begun the writing process of it, and so I'm sharing that with you guys. So this is primarily a piano track, but as the song progresses, it's going to build up. I want the bridge to be really big and powerful and emotional. So that's what we're going to kind of work for. Now, again, I don't necessarily know. I know what I want it to be, but I don't necessarily know what the drums are going to do. I'm not sure what the guitars are going to do just yet. I got to figure out. It's like a puzzle. You kind of got to mess around with it, play around with it, and see what comes out of it. Now, I think I have a chorus for this song. I think I have the lyrics. And right now, the current title of the song is Poison. And you'll hear it. I'll actually sing the song for you. I'm going to let you guys hear the piano track. But the chorus says, "We all make choices, and yours are poison. How you're slowly killing off yourself and infecting everybody else. We all make choices." And I'll have to look back. I make recordings of kind of my mindset or my ideas of what I'm thinking when I start writing these. And I think the concept for this song currently, I think this is going to be a song about how a lot of times in life we deal with certain circumstances that are very challenging. And it's and no doubt our environment and the kind of situations that we deal with, they're going to shape us. They're going to affect us in some way. But ultimately, we're all still responsible for the actions and the choices that we make. And so it's sort of a song about holding ourselves accountable and being being careful not to just play the victim. It's very easy to play the victim and sort of blame the way we are on the circumstances around us, when the truth is we are the ones in control of our actions, and we are who we choose to be. You are who you choose to be. And so if you're making poor choices, which is what poison implies, it implies that you're making poisonous choices that are killing yourself and hurting the people around you. And so that's the concept of it. Now, will I stick with that? I'm not sure, but conceptually, I kind of like it. So we'll see what happens. Stan was saying, kind of like November Rain, starts with piano and builds up. Yeah, I suppose. It's probably going to be a different vibe than November Rain, but maybe structurally it'll be kind of similar. Nuke was saying lots of people out there that need to be held accountable for their actions. And yeah, so it's definitely going to be a song that, it's gonna take some thought, you know. It's gonna take some careful crafting of the lyrics to make sure that the message I want to convey comes off, because I want to be. I think it was probably initially inspired by some friends of mine. I definitely have some friends that I know come from some hurtful circumstances, and so I don't want to come off as telling them to just suck it up. I want to be sensitive to that, but I also want them to free themselves from this sort of burden or this hurt that they really bring upon themselves. They might blame it on the circumstances that they came from, but they're fully capable of living more meaningful and fulfilling lives. But they've sort of let the past, they've sort of let the hurt and the circumstances that they faced keep them in this dark place that they refuse to kind of let go of and step out of. And so it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be kind of a delicate balance when I do get around to writing the full lyrics. But either way, whenever I start a song, I always want to write the chorus first, which is actually fairly new for me. That wasn't always the case, but since like the past year or two, starting with the chorus is super helpful. The chorus is kind of the main point of the whole song, so if you write your chorus and you get that working first, then it's a lot easier to write out the rest of the song. You know what you're building up to. So let me go ahead and sort of let you guys hear this. So this is sort of an exclusive for you guys. You guys are, again, this is all I have here. Let me show you what I've got here. This black track that you see here, this is the piano. I've recorded a piano track. It's the full song arrangement from beginning to end. I kind of know how long the song is going to be. I know how long the verses and the chorus are going to be. But literally all it is piano, and I've got a vocal melody and some words for the chorus. But I don't have words for the verses. I don't know what the other instruments are. I don't know exactly when they're going to come in. And that's kind of what we're going to mess with today. I'm going to start playing around and figuring that out. So I'll let you guys hear it, and I'm going to sing along with it. Now, again, I don't have lyrics, so I'm just going to be singing la-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'll start singing lyrics when I get to the chorus, because that's where I do have words. Also, the song goes pretty high. Right now I'm writing it, so I'm not going to be belting out. I'm not going to be screaming out. I actually, like when I imagine the bridge, I want it to be very desperate and just kind of, yeah, sort of screaming out, almost in agony a little bit. That's how I want the vocals to come, but that's not what you're going to hear from me tonight. Tonight, to hit those high notes, I'm just going to go to my falsetto, you know. I'm just going to go up there, but that's not how I'm actually going to sing the song when it's finished. So keep in mind, what we're doing today, we are taking an idea and we're coming up with a first draft. We're coming up with sort of a rough idea of what the song could be. And what's really interesting is there's a lot of back and forth. As you start adding other instruments, they influence each other. And so you might start making tweaks and changes to parts to get them to work better together. So anyway, here we go. As of right now, this song is called Poison. I'll let you guys have a listen to it. Okay, so that's pretty much the stripped-down version of the song, which I will release. Again, I'm doing this with all my tracks. I will release a stripped-down version. So there's going to be a version kind of like that, just the piano and just the vocals. Of course, obviously it'll have lyrics, and I'll be singing it a bit differently. But that's kind of the stripped-down version, but there's also going to be a full band, an official version, a full band version. And that's kind of what we're going to start messing with today. So let me catch up with the chat. And hey, we got Feisty Feather in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you tuning in. Let's see here. Some hellos happening. Gut check with love. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Kind of don't, kind of tough love, but it's sort of good for you. Correction is a sign of love. Sometimes it's hard to hear that, but that's kind of what the lyrics will be. Hey, thanks for the applause, Jack. Appreciate it. Yep, please don't strip down yet. I'm still here. The music is stripped down. Clothes are staying on for me. So, all right. So this song, again, normally I would start with the chorus, but this song, not every chorus is going to be the same. I'm going to start with the biggest part of the song. So since the song kind of gradually builds up, and by the end, that's going to be the biggest part, that's where all the instruments are going to be. So I'm going to start there, because if I can get that kind of working, then it's going to be easier to build backwards from there. It's going to be easier to say, okay, here's what we're building up to. Now I can sort of see, all right, what to add to kind of gradually transition into that huge spot. So you can see this little green loop here that I'm turning on and off. It's a line for you guys, but that's a loop. It basically allows me to select a section, and it'll just focus on that. So I've scooted ahead. I'm not at the beginning of the song. I'm at the second chorus, and then it's going to go into the bridge. So I'll let you hear that again. And again, this black track that you see here is the piano itself. These other tracks, a few things. So this green one right here, this dark green, that was just a simple drum beat that I made. It's not the actual drum beat, but when I was recording the piano, I needed something to keep time to, so I just came up with a simple drum beat that I could play along with. So that's what that was. And then these lighter green tracks are both pianos. This first one's a piano, but it's actually for the vocals. So I'll let you hear that real quick. Sorry, I soloed it. Usually when I'm writing a song and I write the melody, I'll program the melody in with a piano. So you can hear these piano keys playing the melody. We all make choices, and yours are poison. So that piano is playing the melody. But usually my songs don't have a piano in it, so those piano notes stick out. But since this song revolves around a piano, they kind of blend in too much. Like you can hear them, but it doesn't really stick out. So I grabbed a separate track. I found an electric piano, and I moved the melody over to that. So that way it just kind of sticks out a little bit. So this represents the vocal melody. And that can be helpful. I'm probably not going to use that right now, but later as I start adding stuff, it's helpful to have the melody in there so that when you start writing other layers, you're making sure that they're all supporting the melody and they're not competing with it or covering it up or anything like that. You want to make sure that everything is working together. But that also kind of gives you guys an idea where we're at. So we're at the chorus here. This is the second chorus. The biggest part of the song, that bridge and then that last chorus where those vocals are really high, that's probably going to be like the biggest part of the song. And I kind of already have an idea of what I want the drums to do there, so that's probably what we're going to start with. And those lyrics that I was singing for the bridge, those are kind of temporary lyrics. I have them for now. I don't know if those are going to be the final lyrics. I'll probably try to modify it to something a bit more intentional, so we'll see. Hey, we got Lady C in the chat. Hey, Lady C, hope you're doing well. Sure, see, it's just some hellos happening. Wow, well, thanks, Dan. Appreciate that. Cool. Gotcha. All right, so yeah, Lady C, appreciate you tuning in. This is a song I'm working on. I'm going to release a song later, but this is the very early stages of it, so it's just piano. And we're going to get started. Usually I like to start with drums. Drums kind of give me an idea of what the rhythm's going to be, what the kind of vibe of the track is going to be. So I'm going to pull up my drums here. Some of you have seen this before. This is just a software drum set I use. Basically, this grid allows me to program in the drum beat. I can add kicks and snares and all that stuff. So let me find which part of the song. We'll just kind of start. So I'm thinking for the chorus, when it first kicks in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like that. So let's dial that in. So, and actually, I actually didn't know I was going to do that quick kick. That might be cool. So boom, boom, pop, boom, boom, pop, or something like that. Or actually, I don't know if I want to do the. I don't know. So that's why you got to start. You got to just kind of start somewhere, and then once you hear it in context, it makes it a little easier to sort of decide. Oh, it would sound better if it did this. So 1, 2, and I think the snare is going to go there. So let's see. We'll see. We'll just kind of try that out. There we go. And we'll get a cymbal in there. And I think we're going to go with hi-hat. Drag that into the timeline. All right. And so I think that starts here. Obviously, the drums are going to come out of nowhere. But all right, cool. So it's kind of nice. You kind of get like a little bit of like, woo, you know, something happened there. So, all right, let me. So I'm going to keep working on the drums. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to get rid of this, yeah, so you guys can see a little easier. Let me scoot this over. There we go. So here's what we're working on, that top dark green track right there. All right, gonna copy that and just paste it over. I'm gonna get rid of that symbol. Let's just change that to a hat. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, and then put this one again. And maybe we'll put like a little fill. Bum, bum. That'd be kind of cool. So, dun, dun, bop, 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 like on the snare. Dun, dun, God. Let me see if that's right. The snare. And we'll change this to a splash. Cool. And thank you. Lady C was saying, nice piano part, Quincy. Thank you very much. Yep, working on it. Nuke was saying, when playing live, I usually don't know what I'm playing at all until I hear my drummer's cymbal cues. Yeah, the drums play a big influence. That's kind of why when I'm writing, usually I'm writing on guitar. So I'll have the guitar part first, and then I almost always go to the drums next. And I'll kind of go back and forth between the guitar and the drums because those two really kind of shape the whole song. And then based off of what I come up with on those two, I'll figure out how to fit in the bridge so that, sorry, the bridge, I meant the bass, so that it bridges them together, and then any other elements as well. Probably hits the same cymbal every time, but the way he hits is it just triggers something in my brain. Oh, that's where we're playing. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what it does. That the cymbal, it kind of gives you the cue that you're back at the beginning of the measure. So there's definitely certain cues that the drums can do. That's why fills can be helpful to sort of know where you're at in the song so you don't get lost. Yep, and Stan commenting on that as well. You know, the drums kind of, yeah, the drummer really plays a big responsibility kind of keeping everyone together in unison. So I think this whole section, and again, when we're first writing, we are not really doing the details yet. We're kind of just getting a broad idea. So I'm just going to copy and paste all of that. Have a listen. Okay, so I'm liking it, but I had it kind of I'm going to try something, and I mean, that's what this is for. This is that's pretty much the whole point. It's just like, hey, let me try that. So it'd be kind of cool to sync up with like the vocals a little bit. The drums kind of sync up with the vocals. And the funny thing is, I didn't mean to leave the vocal melody on, but if I didn't have it, it wouldn't have inspired this. I think I'm going to try to hit a snare. Boom, boom, bop, bop, boom, bop. But I think I mean for this snare to go here. So it's not. So it's kind of similar to the fill we did. But that's kind of cool. I kind of like that because it's kind of a different beat, like hitting that snare back to back. Whoops, if I can. Sometimes my trackpad can be a little finicky to work with. And let's move this snare over. Do the same thing on this one. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, kind of cool. I kind of want to play with the ride real quick. We'll do it real quick on these. So right now I've got a hi-hat going. But I kind of want to see what like a bell would sound like. There we go. That's a good bell right there. I don't know if I want it the whole time, but it'd be kind of cool to do it ding, ding, you know, so let me try that out. On these last two, let's see what that sounds like. Kind of cool. I'll roll with it for now. And that's kind of the fun thing too, you know, when you're first writing it, you can just kind of, it's just a brainstorm session, you know, you're just kind of taking your ideas and just putting them out there, and then later you can refine them and you can kind of pick and choose what needs to stay, what needs to change, what needs to go, all that stuff. But yeah, because maybe there's an idea there, like I don't know if I don't know if I'm nailing it exactly the way I'm kind of hearing it in my head, but it might kind of remind me, oh, there could be something cool to do there. And And then I know this last one I want it to build up. So okay. So this last one's going to build up like a dun, 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 dun kind of thing. So I'm going to grab these snares. And we're going to put the kicks. Change. I'm gonna add some floor tom in there. Change that to a crash first, and bring these down to a floor tom. There we go. Now, right now, everything's at a pretty high velocity, so it's going to sound very robotic. Let me just make sure it's the right beat. Yeah, so that's the idea, but we obviously want it to start quieter and get louder. I'll do like a really quick, like I don't want to spend too much time dialing this in perfectly. But I'll do it a little bit just so we get the idea. So all I'm doing, I've selected everything. I'm using this velocity tool so it actually softens the hits. So they're not just going to be at the same velocity every single time. They start quiet and they gradually get a little bit louder. And we got one more. There we go. That works. All right, so it should be. So a little better. Okay. All right, then this is the big part of the song. So I kind of have an idea. I know I want the drums to be like. So this is, yeah, this is kind of the big part of the song. I'm actually going to, I'm sitting in this chair, but it's kind of. I feel like it might be a little more comfortable just to squat down. So here we go. All right, so we're going to work on this bridge, and I'm actually going to go ahead and save this project. Some of you, if you watched my last one, we kind of were working on the song, and it was coming out sounding pretty cool, and then it crashed. So I lost everything I worked on. Now I still have the recording of it, so I can remake it. But hey, we got a few other people tuning in. Justine, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you too, Gary. I'm just doing a little bit of songwriting. Hey, development of a void. Good to see you as well. And Kubrick. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Yeah, this is just a song I'm working on. This is one I'm planning to release at the end of the year, most likely at the end of the year. Sounds fab. Thanks, Gary. Much appreciated. And yeah, I'm just kind of writing it. Like, this song is not done yet. So it's like, it's very much early in the idea process. Sounded good. Thank you, Katie. Appreciate that. Yes. The doll looks old school. It is. It is. So the story is, when I got my MacBook Pro, I bought Logic 9. This would have been back around 2012. And shortly after I bought it, Logic 10 came out. For a while, Logic 9, they were doing updates, but I think they did a whole revamped Logic 10, and that's the current system. And I had already purchased this one, so I didn't buy that one. And now I just have so many templates and stuff that I eventually, someday, I'll have to upgrade. But it's more so that I have all the templates and I have such a workflow. I don't want to have to start that over. I just want to make music, so I don't want to have to go through that whole process. But someday I'll have to. Someday I'll have to pull the trigger on that. All right. It wasn't. I don't think it was the computer that crashed. It was the DAW that crashed. But I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks. So yeah, it was just during a stream we were recording, and then the software I was using just crashed, and I was like, oh no! And people could still see me because I was still streaming, but they couldn't hear me, so I had to bring up the program again because my mic is coming through the same DAW here. So Interesting. As long as it works, that's the key indeed. Yep, exactly. You know, if it ain't broke, don't break it. So, but just to catch you guys up, basically this is a song I'm working on. It's just a piano part. I'll even sing a little bit for you. So, right now all I have is the piano. So this is kind of the verse of the song. I don't even have lyrics yet. I've got lyrics for the chorus. And the chorus.
We all make choices, and yours are poison. How you're slowly killing off yourself and infecting everybody else.
It's gonna get big.
Somewhere in the distance, there's an ocean full of promise. If you wanna make a difference, then it's time to sink or swim. We all make choices.
So it's gonna be, you know, really big and ideally big and powerful, you know, all the bands in there and stuff. And I'm not gonna be singing it like that. Obviously I'm gonna be belting. But, you know, I don't really feel like screaming my lungs out right now, so it's just a demo. So that's kind of the chorus. This song, again, if you guys are familiar with my song Love's Not Fair, that song's mostly acoustic guitar, and it starts soft and then gradually builds up. Kind of the same thing with this one. It's going to start piano and then gradually build up. But I'm writing it. Like, I don't know what the drums are going to do yet. I don't know what the guitars and the bass are going to do. So I'm just sharing that process with you guys as I write it. So I like to start with the drums. And you can kind of hear it when they kick in, you know. Got a bit of a groove here. And this will change over time. I'm just getting just a basic idea right now. And you can hear it builds up. And then this part's supposed to be like the big, messy, just like, you know, desperation kind of vibe that I want to go for. So the drums for this part, let me get a beat dialed in. I kind of have an idea what sort of beat I want already. Yeah, I'm going to start with a crash, and I want a snare here. It might change to like a splash or China or something. Let's try this. So... Whoops, not what I meant to do. So I think it's going to be bop, bop. Yeah, bop. I think this is right. Let me hear. And then another snare there. Also, I'm going to share a little production thing for you guys. So right now, if I was a real drummer, I would hit the cymbal with one hand. I would hit the snare with the other hand. So both hands are taken up. But sometimes from a production standpoint, if I want something to be big, I'll cheat and I'll add another cymbal in there. So I can add, let's see, that's the right cymbal. I can add the left cymbal in there. Where is it? Oh, whoops. Yeah, there it is, right there. You can hear without it. It's just a little smaller with it. And that's more of a production choice. That's more of just to make the beginning of the section just really explosive. So we'll do that. We'll add that in there. And let's get this beat in here. And then I'm going to, whoops, let me move that over. All right, I'm going to get this out of the way. Actually, I'll make sure I turn that off. Here. All right, and let me get it where you guys can see it better. I'm going to move that out of the way. Okay, so we got this beat. Okay, here's the cool thing. I listened to that. Something didn't quite work. And that's kind of the cool thing. You try something, and I'm listening to the way it engages with the piano. Something didn't quite fit, so I'm going to try to figure that out. I think I need the snare to match with the chord hits. The piano's going bum, bum. What is the piano doing? Let's have a listen. Bum, bum, ba-dum. So I might need to match that. It actually looks like I'm a little behind, like my playing might not have been perfectly on time. Now, I did record this, so maybe I can fix that. Yeah, let me just scoot those up a little bit. There's the chords right there. I think they're supposed to hit right there. Yeah, some sounds, I don't know, maybe it was more on time than I thought. Or maybe that whole section, maybe it's these back chords also. I think I just got a little behind on the timing. I don't know, maybe I'll leave it alone. Maybe it's not that big a deal. I'll figure that out later. That first hit sounds a little delayed to me. All right. Because it should hit here. Okay. I will just, yeah, get that lined up. Yeah, so that was better. Bum, bum, and then... So... Whoops, what just happened? Yeah, then we got to get all these scooted up. So I actually played this piano part, but I recorded the MIDI for it. So the nice thing is, if you make mistakes, you can kind of correct them later. There we go. Yeah, I was like, that beat wasn't working, but now it sounds a lot better. But I think I want to get rid of some of those last kicks. I want more of like a bum-tum-tum, bum-tum-tum, boom, boom. I want those last two hits to be a little more accented. So I think we're going to get rid of these two kicks here. It might be the piano, because for some reason it's not quite having the hit that I want it to. Oh, you know what it is? So the piano, the high chords are going dun, 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 but it's just a low note. So, I mean, that might be fine. I could try doing like a kick there instead. I think I'm going to stick with the snare, but I'm going to change it to a cymbal. That'll work. Okay, cool. And let's copy and paste that over. And then this one, we're just going to get rid of one of the first cymbals. Let's see what that sounds like. That'd be kind of cool. Like hit a couple toms there. And I think we'll change this to a crash. And let's go. Let me grab the pencil tool. Let's see what that sounds like. There's also something weird happening with the piano. Like one of the notes aren't coming through or something like that. I'm not going to stress about it right now, but I'll just re-record it later. So. And then copy and paste that. And let's do like a da, dun, 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 dun. So kind of accenting that ending again, but we'll do like a floor tom and snare thing. Let me just make sure that's the right beat. Yeah, that, but again, I'm going to do my velocity trick. Let me soften those first few hits. So they're all like the same velocity right now, so I'm turning these first few hits down so that it kind of builds. There we go. Cool, and whoops, too many. I think we can just copy and paste all that. Let's see what we got. That last one I want to build up. Jack, appreciate you tuning in. Hope you have a good night as well. You take care. All right. Can I control the sustain on cymbals? To some degree, mostly compression's going to do that. So if the cymbals sound like they're hitting and then like disappearing, I can add compression later and that'll sustain them a bit longer. And yeah, it is. It's great to discover the song. Yeah, that's kind of the funnest part. I've always thought that songwriting is more like discovery than creating. It's never like, oh, I know what this is. Let me set out and make it. It's more like, oh, that's you come up with, you discover an idea. You come up with an idea, and it's like, hey, that's kind of neat, and you just start exploring it and seeing where it takes you. And sometimes you have a vision for it, but we'll see. I like the cymbal bash. Yeah, thanks. So ideally, this part's going to be, yeah, kind of the big, like, intense part, you know, so that's kind of what we're working on. Let's see here. Some good nights happening. Oh, cool. Justine's getting a baby Taylor. Taylors are great. My dad's got one. My brother's got one. Good guitars. And I think my brother-in-law actually has a baby Taylor, and they're quite nice. That's awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm excited for you to get that. Okay, so this part I want to... It's actually not too different than this first build-up. Let me see if this will work, because that's a nice thing. If you've already programmed something, you can kind of just copy and paste it. But of course, later I might go through and refine each part a bit more. Yeah. And I think I just want that to start on a snare. That'll work for now, I think. But I might change that last hit to a crash. Whoops, I think I... And then we're back at the chorus, but I think this beat is going to be a little different than what we programmed the first time. I think this is going to be a little more like a breakdown beat, so more like boom, 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 pop, boom, 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 pop, boom, I think is what we're going to go. Might even keep it with the splashes and the chinas and all that stuff, so let's see here. Yeah, right now we're basically just trying to get a general idea of the song. You're, broad strokes first. You're kind of doing the stuff that's gonna make the most noticeable impact, and then then we'll start dialing in the details once we have kind of a rough idea of what it's gonna be. There we go. So we're gonna do kick, 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 bum, 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 and then we want a snare right here. Bum, bum. And I think this just goes there. And it might actually be faster. Might be faster to copy and paste this. See what that sounds like real quick. Okay, I actually want that last one back. This one had kind of a little fill in it. Where's it at? There we go. So these are hi-hats. That to a crash. Crash and splash. All right. Okay, cool. And we'll copy and paste that. I think for now, because I'm just trying to get a general idea, so I think I can copy and paste that same beat. Now, when I go back, I'll probably add in variations and maybe even like bigger fills, like because just want it to like go all out, like rock out. I want it to end on just some crashes, and then it's going to fade out. It's going to go back to just the piano there. So let's copy and paste one more. But on this one, we're just going to have it end on the kick and the crashes. I feel like I'm... Can delete all that, and let's just add another. That kind of thing. And it's kind of cool, like as you're creating songs, I'm just going to share this with you. I just heard something. So I can hear it in the piano. Sorry. The reason you couldn't hear me was because I soloed the piano, and I forget when I solo a track, it mutes everything else. Let me say that again. So the cool thing is while you're working on a song, sometimes you'll hear stuff. It's not there, but something kind of sounds like it, and it's like, oh, that could be a cool sound to bring out. So I can almost hear like a synthy, like very atmospheric, underwater kind of thing. Like, I don't know if you all can imagine that, but I can kind of hear it. It's coming from the sustain of the piano notes, but I might try to create some kind of synth pad that creates sort of the effect that I'm hearing just from that, and sort of accent it more. That could be kind of cool. Okay, so we got some drums. Let's get some bass in there and kind of see how those play together, and then we'll try some guitar. I kind of want to get to the guitar because that's going to make a pretty big difference too, but I think bass is going to be helpful in kind of sort of stitching everything together. So let me see how I want to start with this. All right. So, sorry, that's my preamp being noisy. Okay. Let me figure out what note it is. I wasn't even, that was a lucky guess. That's the right note. It's too high, but. I think that's still an octave too high. No, it's got to be there because I play in drop C. I mean, technically it could go lower, but I try to keep it in drop C tuning is what I'm playing in. Might soften the velocity a little bit just because when you're playing higher, this bass tone, it could be a little bitey on the higher notes. Hear that boom, that power. Now, one thing I'm kind of curious about, I don't know the answer to this yet because I got to play with it. But if you listen to the piano, I'm already playing some pretty low notes in the piano. I'll let you hear that. Now, I'm not really rocking it too much. I'm kind of hitting my low pinky and then I'm sort of bouncing on my thumb in the left hand. So there's like that boom and then it kind of. So it's not too bad, but I want to make sure that the piano and the bass are playing nicely together and they're not getting too muddy in the low end. If they are getting kind of muddy, I might have to modify some parts. I might have to take out some of the low notes from the piano, but you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right, so I think we're just gonna have the bass pretty simple. I think just bum 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 bum. For now, maybe I'll have a little da-da-dum or something like that later. Bum, bum. Start with that. See how that sounds. Oops, let's get our drums back in there. Oh, whoops, there was more. I could go bum, 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 bum. So I could hit an octave there. And just going to soften that a little bit. What is that? What just happened? I grabbed the wrong tool. Why is there a mute tool? I mean, I guess that can come in handy. But. Oh my goodness, I think I accidentally changed something. I don't know what, but. You know what? I think I liked it better. I'm just going to keep it low for now. But I might experiment with that later. Sometimes having octaves in there can sound good. All right, let's go to the next chord, which I think we can go lower. I think that's it right there. It might be, hold on. Oh, that is not right. I think I edited the wrong one. Bum, 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 really low. Yeah, that note right there. Yeah, and that's almost, like that's really low, but it might blend in when the guitars are there. We'll see. I don't know. I might have to move it up higher. Bum, bum. There we go. All right, let's see how that sounds. I know why I don't like it, because the velocity. So let me get that fixed. I need those heavy notes. Oh my, I don't know why it keeps doing that. There we go. We want that grit heavy. Let's see how that sounds. All right, that'll work for now. And second half. I think this part I can go boom, 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 boom. Well, I got two choices. I can either match the kick and snare and go boom, 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 which I feel like is going to be a bit much. It might sound cool, but, or I could just go boom, 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 boom. I think I'm going to start with that one. Maybe the second time I'll double it up. Whoops. Grab this one. Let's get the right chord. And I think we're going to go up an octave. So bum, bum. There we go. That's not bad. Let's see what the other option sounds like. So I could do that, or I could play a little quicker and do bum 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 bum, or something like that. Let's give that a listen. Oops, not what we want. I think this last one, let's see what that sounds like. I think I edited the wrong track again. It's easy to do. we do just the drums and the bass, pretty gnarly with just the two of those. So that's one of those things where it's going to take a little bit of work to make sure that the piano and the bass are working together. The piano right now might be fighting with the bass. But I think I'm going to roll with that and see if I can get it to work. Okay, so... and we went bum bum. Bum bum bum. Is that right? That wasn't the right note. Sometimes it's hard to hear the note when it's really low. There we go. I'm kind of digging that because it's like, because I want this part to be really intense, and so there's going to be some electric guitar here too. Copy and paste that. And then, all right, here we go. Let's see what we got. Might just be able to copy and paste from the other course. Let's see if that works. I was going to add a final bass note, and I might end up doing it, but for right now, I'm actually going to leave that out. I thought that sounded kind of cool without the last bass note. So, all right, let's get to some guitars. I'm really curious about the guitars because I want them in there, but sometimes getting guitars and piano to play nicely together can be tricky. Distorted guitars specifically. So, which actually brings up a point. One thing I'll often do if I'm working on a song like this, and I'm not. Maybe it's an instrumentation that I don't do. Like, I don't have a lot of piano in most of my songs. So if it's sort of an unusual instrumentation for me, I'll try to find reference tracks. I'll try to find other bands that are doing a similar thing to what I'm trying to do. So I know, like, first one to come to mind, I know Evanescence has a lot of piano and electric guitar in their music. Now, I don't know if they quite go, like, to be honest, the bridge, if you guys are familiar with, like, Under Oath, that's almost what I'm thinking. I don't know if it's going to be quite screamo, but again, I just think like agony and desperation is kind of the vibe I'm thinking for the bridge, like just all out, just letting it all out, pouring your heart out. So, so definitely want something heavy there. Thank you. Yeah, Kubrick saying, yeah, it sounds good. Thank you. Yep, sounding good. Nice. Thank you. Ooh, I like that bass and drumming solo. Yeah, the bass sounds so good. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the bass tone, and yeah, it fits good. This particular bass tone works really good with my distorted tone. So I'm going to grab the guitar, and like I said, this is a discovery process, like I honestly, like I kind of know the chords, but I don't know how they're going to fit yet, and you don't really know until you just try and start playing around. So let me get my guitar set up. Alright, so the chords, I think we got, what key are we in? Okay, so it's actually different chords. I think I learned this earlier, and it's a different key. So I don't know if I'm going to palm mute or if I'm going to, you know. And right now I'm doing an inverted thing. It might be better just to do that at first, and then when it gets heavy, add that in there. Like those chords. I don't know if I'm going to use them. Sometimes you try really elaborate stuff and then you end up just doing power chords, but if I can come up with some cool like dissonant chords. Something. Alright, this is going to be messy. Let me practice that real quick, so... So right now it's kind of hard to hear the guitars, but once I track them, I think that could be cool. It's just, I got to practice it. It's some tricky chords. That chord. Now in the writing stage, I might just cheat it. I might just cut it together and then learn how to play it later. So what we're going to do, when you're writing, you're basically working on a proof of concept. So one thing that really sucks, it really sucks to learn a part that's hard to play, and then you find out, oh, it doesn't even sound good. So we're just going to kind of cheat this. We're going to record like each chord at a time and then just cut it together and just see if it even sounds good. All right, so I got some of that. Let me get the next chord. Gonna mute that. I think I can get that transition. Let me get that a little better. Super messy. All right, let's see here. So I'm going to cut it together. Right there. So I'm going to see what that sounds like. Here we go. Ta-da! All right, and then I got to get from this chord back to that. And I might not even have to do that, but we'll see if it... Actually, don't know if I have to do that. It might be okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we'll be okay. I think I can just, yeah, delete that. I think we can just copy and paste all this. Now I have to play it again so I can double track it. One more on the left side, and then yeah, I might have to now that we're getting more instruments, I might have to start playing with the levels a little bit, getting the volume right. Let me try one more. Okay, and let's get that second bit. Okay, so now we've got guitars panned left and right. Now my concern is I'd really like the piano to be in there, so I might have to do things like change the piano tone also eventually, just to get it to work with the guitars. But you know, we'll get to that point. But I have a feeling it's probably going to sound like really tight if I were to mute the piano. But here's what we got so far. Like, hear how tight that sounds? Like, you mute the piano and it's like the drums, bass, and guitar work really well together. I might just have to turn the piano down. Am I still... Sometimes this mic can get a little quiet. So that sounds cool. Now that I got that, let me turn my piano down and kind of mix it with that. So. Ooh, that sounds kind of cool when you get it balanced. part. I'm digging that. That's the fun part. Like, it's starting to come alive, and I'm kind of hearing like what it can be. And there's still definitely a lot of tweaking to do, a lot of refining, but it's fun to hear all the parts come together. So, and yeah, it's amazing how much just simple balancing has a big impact. Let me catch up with the chat a little bit. I know you guys have kind of been chatting amongst yourselves some. Yeah, a little bit of talk there. And Kubrick, I saw you were making some comments too. Guitar sounds nice. Thank you. Yeah, very much. Yep, just a tone I dialed in. And yeah, it probably actually sounds a bit more crunchy, fuzzy. So when I'm tracking guitar, you can see right here where it says tracking, I don't have a whole lot of plugins on that. It's just the amp sim that I use and the cab. So it probably does sound very crunchy, like kind of fuzzy. But as you can hear, when I drag it into the actual tracks, I've got more plugins on this. And the finished tone is a lot more metal. I mean, you know, you can use a fuzz tone for metal, but it's definitely a much more tight, like chuggy kind of metal tone. I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of digging those chords. Like, you know, I was just kind of trying things out. But now that I hear it in context, it's like I like the dissonance there. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And yes, this guitar, this is my Schecter Hellraiser Solo 6. So very special guitar to me. Believe it or not, actually the first guitar I ever got. Growing up, I always had, my dad played guitar and my brothers played guitar. They all had acoustics. And I just always kind of played theirs. You know, even though I was really into rock music, I just kind of played on their acoustics, which probably helped me out. It helped me probably build stronger fingers so that whenever I did play someone else's electric, I always had someone else's guitar to use. My brother-in-law had an electric that he would let me play, and when I go to my friends' houses, they had electric guitars that I could play, so I never really needed one. And it was for my, I think it was my 19th birthday. I think that's what it was, either 19th or 20th birthday. I think it was my 20th birthday. So actually a very special guitar to me because that would have been back around 2011, and there were kind of some, you know, there was kind of a bit of an economic crash at that time, and my family, we were unable to, I guess, to pay off our home, so we lost our home. My parents had to move in with my dad's grandmother, and I lived with my brother and my sister, my brother-in-law and my sister for a bit. And when my birthday came up, you know, we were already, you know, times were a little challenging, but we were celebrating my birthday, and I got this birthday card, and when I opened it up, like all this cash fell out, like too much cash for a birthday card. It was like a ridiculous amount, and it was like $100 bills. I'm like, what the heck, you know, or $50 bills or something. It was a lot of cash, and I read it, and it was just my parents just telling me how proud they were of me. And they were just saying how, and that's why tomorrow Dad's going to take you to Guitar Center to pick out your very own guitar. So, yeah, so it was really, really kind of them to do that for me. And I remember going, and I'd already kind of had my eye on this guitar. I'd seen it a while back and thought, you know, if I ever got a guitar, I think that'd be the one I'd want to get. So when they gave me the opportunity to get a guitar, I kind of already knew. And thankfully, you know, I kind of just picked it just for the aesthetics. I thought it was a beautiful guitar, but thankfully it plays great too. So definitely a very special guitar to me. But all right, well, I'm pretty happy with how this is coming out. I think we're going to try to come up with maybe a few more guitar parts, and then I might be putting a wrap on this soon, but hopefully you enjoy that. And nothing to be sorry about. Thankfully, things are doing, it was actually kind of a blessing in disguise. Like, things sort of, it turned out for the better. Like, it was kind of a rough point, but my parents, they were able to get out of it. Once my grandmother passed away, they were able to inherit the home, and Dad has since been able to build onto it, and it was a small little farmhouse, and now it's like a really nice lot of addition to it because my dad works construction, and over the years they've just gradually kind of improved and built on it. And so it's a very nice house now, and I was able to move back in with them. So it all worked out. It was definitely tough when it first happened, but it all played out nicely. But that's the main thing. The only reason I even bring up that part of it was just to point out my parents' generosity, that even though things were a little challenging financially, they were still willing to pour into me and get me a guitar. So that meant a lot to me. Let's hear what we've got here. Helps if I unsolo this. So I will say the piano sounds great in the other part, but it's a little quiet during this bit. Or it at least doesn't have as much presence as I would like it to. That might be more of a tone thing than a volume thing. It's definitely, like, I love the way that's sounding. It's actually really cool. The piano and the guitar are actually kind of working. So I want to hear those two just together. Sometimes that's helpful too, just to listen to individual instrument parts and kind of hear how they complement each other and where they kind of conflict. I think one thing that's really helping is the piano chord I'm playing is the same chord. So since I'm not jumping all around with the chords, it kind of gives a little more flexibility for the guitar. So it's not bad. I might have to play around with some things, but I'm liking the way that's coming out. Let's look at this last chorus. 1 second. So here, I think the guitar, let me figure out what chords I want to play for that. So, might be kind of cool. What I'm trying to do, so yeah, the chords are just, you know. But if I can, I like to add a little more color to the chords. And if I find a note I like, a lot of times I'll try to keep hitting that note. So I'm trying to get this note in every chord. So we got that one, and then we've got... It'd be cool if I could get that note, but I'm not sure if I can. I can do that. I want these two back to back, like that, creating that dissonance, but not sure there's a way to do that. So, and then, and then this first chord, I can make it sound a little heavier by adding the octave. That's the fifth. But when I add it, it kind of thickens it up. So might have to do our little cheat trick that we did last time, since I haven't learned how to play this yet. And then might hold out, you know, might end with, let that last chord ring out, maybe, maybe not. I was getting better at that as I was playing it. Thank you, Justine. Yeah, I love my parents, they're awesome. Thank you, Kubrick. Take that little section there. That sounds pretty good. And I'm just going to copy and paste that for now. Actually, one second. Keep that first one because that was nice and punchy. Whoops. And then let me do one more take. I'm going to put this here, drag this back. Okay, so that's one, and I can just copy and paste this for the rest of it. And let me just do a second guitar. So yeah, so this is one guitar, it's panned all the way to the right. I'm going to do another guitar and then pan it to the left. And I'm going to get that last chord. I think I actually played that well enough to just drag the whole thing. That section's not too bad. Once again, you just got to learn it and practice it. So let me get that last chord. Okay. All right, let's have a listen to that. So I'm kind of digging it. computer's being just a little laggy. So, again, if I were to add the vocal melody back in there. Cool. So another thing, I'm probably not going to be able to program this in yet, but I can kind of imagine like these strings, like orchestral strings. Oops, I went back too far, so, or not far enough. Something kind of like that, and dun dun dun. It'd be kind of cool to get like, yeah, these very staccato kind of dun 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 kind of strings or something. So maybe I'll try adding some orchestral stuff. Haven't done that in a while either, so we'll see. Maybe I'll do that.
Somewhere in the distance, there's an ocean full of promise. If you wanna make a difference, then it's time to sink or swim. We all make choices, and yours are poison. Now you're slowly killing off yourself and infecting everybody else. We all make choices. We all make choices. We all make choices. Don't drink the poison.
All right, cool. And then probably the only other thing I can kind of think of right now, maybe some lead guitar stuff. So I think, let's see. I'm gonna have to get my guitar tuned for this. So kind of might match up like the vocal melody there or something. something like that. There's kind of some cool notes in there. Can do something like that. That could be kind of cool. I want to make sure that doesn't conflict with the vocals. So I'll add like the vocal back in there. So that's the kind of stuff I can play around with that forever and just kind of try different combinations. And I'm not really sure. I kind of like those notes, but I'm not really sure what I want to do yet. So I kind of just got to record them and sort of hear. Like that. Kubrick likes it. Nice feedback at the end there, and then the piano at the end. Yeah, I kind of like that ending of just sort of fading out. Yep, would sound great. Cool with the vocal melody in there. Yeah, the vocals. The vocal melody is everything. You know, again, when I first write a song, the thing that kind of sells me on going through with it, like again, this song's not done, but I'm going to release this song later this year. And the thing that sells me on it, it's first the initial idea. Like I wrote the piano part, and I was like, I really like that. I was kind of playing around with some different notes, and I liked the emotional tone of it. But the thing that gets me to say, okay, I'm going to turn this into a song is when I come up with a vocal melody. And so when I hear the melody, I'm like, okay, I like that. You know, that's good. Then that's when I want to turn it into a full song. So I've kind of got the vocal melody for the whole song. I've got the chorus. I don't have the whole lyrics yet, and that's still up to change. You know, I kind of have an idea what I want to do with it, but we'll see. I'm going to record a few of those guitar parts, and we'll kind of hear them in context. I'm not totally sure what I'm going to do yet, but we'll just sort of record them, and I'll have them later. Again, I'm not going to finish the song today. Like I said, today is just going from idea to first draft, and it's hardly even a first draft. It's more like a rough sample. You know, it's just kind of an idea. The final version will obviously be a lot more refined and tuned in, but you got to start somewhere. So I thought it'd just be fun to share with you guys kind of how you take sort of an idea and what it sort of becomes. I mean, basically, we've gone from, like, let me show you real quick. Even the section we're looking at, the bridge into the chorus, we've gone from just this. We've gone from that to this. And I really like how, again, you can here's what I like about music. Like, here's what I'm always sort of looking for. There's a lot of very sad chords in the piano bit. Like, I love the dissonance and the chord movements. So there's just something very desperate about it. And then I like taking those kind of chords and then adding like distorted guitars to them, because you get this kind of just overwhelming sense of emotion, and I love the way it amplifies. And it just sounds like you're just pouring your heart out and putting everything into, you know? And the cool thing is, like, I'm planning to do both. I'm going to have a full version, but there is going to be a stripped down version where it is just the vocal and just the piano. And that's kind of the nice thing, you know, why choose one or the other when you can do both? So I'll have this cool, like, sort of overwhelming amplified version, and then I've got the very stripped down raw version of just the vocal and the piano. So let me do some lead guitars, and I think we're going to put a wrap on all of this. Totally, and very cool to see your process. Well, thank you, Justine. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, I hope it's interesting to watch. This is going to be a fantastic song. Well, thank you. Yeah, I can say already, like, just a little bit coming up, I'm definitely excited about it. I'm kind of, again, songwriting is my favorite thing to do, and so when I start hearing an idea come to life, I hear the potential of what it could be, and I'm like, okay, this is really cool. You know, it's not there yet, but I can hear the potential, and definitely excited to keep chipping away at it until it becomes, you know, its final version. So, all right, let's do a few lead guitars. I'm going to do that octave thing and then those single notes. Let's give that a shot. Okay, and let me do one more of those. We'll kind of see how that sounds. Whoops. So we've got some lead guitars panned left and right. And those alone, they sound like this. I think I played them slightly differently. One I did a little more straight, the other one I kind of slid into the notes, so kind of sloppy, but that's all right. Let's see how they sound in context. Not bad. It definitely works, but I might try to do something. I might go. I kind of liked that notey route. Tell you what, I'm gonna mute these. I'll keep them for now, just so I remember them, and I'll move them down. Yeah, I could do kind of like a, you know. I might record that because I like that, but I could also do. I might do some kind of like. Some kind of like That's pretty cool. There's a lot of different things I could do, so I'll probably play with that on my own, because you guys could just keep watching me trying different thing over thing over thing. But plus, I think it's about time to put a wrap on this anyway. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. That was just a little bit of my process. And let's see here. Different versions, that's great. Yep. Sometimes adding more instruments changes the context of another instrument. That's right. Yep, for me, that sometimes happens. I absolutely agree. And I think that's kind of the cool thing. A lot of people have sort of commented that because I've been releasing stripped down versions of my songs, and it's very interesting how it changes the way you perceive it. You know, you kind of get one emotional tone from a full band version, but sort of a different emotional tone when it's just a single instrument. But that's kind of the cool thing. So thank you, Kubrick. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And thanks for hanging out. Yeah, that's just a little bit of my process, part of the what goes into songwriting. And like I said, you know, that's not just some random example. That's a song that I will be releasing later this year. So definitely looking forward to it. Still a lot more to write and work on it, but you guys got a little sneak peek. Y'all got to see it early in its infancy, and then later you'll get to hear the final version. So thanks for tuning in. If you want to hear more music from me, if you want to help me so that I can bring you guys more music, there's definitely a few ways you can support me. I'll post a link here, and again, it's pinned at the top of the chat. But a few different ways you can support me, as simple as ESP. So the simplest thing you can do is just engaging with the content that I make. Anytime I post a video, just leaving comments, liking the videos. Anytime I post music, listening to the music and that kind of stuff, listening on Spotify or wherever you like to listen to music, just engaging with any content I put out, the shorts and stuff, liking it, leaving comments, all that really helps. S is for share. So anytime you share my content, and whenever I put out a song, if you share my music, if you share my live streams, if you invite people to the streams, I really appreciate you sharing, because that exposes my music to more people who might enjoy it. And then the last one is P, being able to provide. So again, through that same link, there's a few different ways you can support me by virtual tip jar. That's one way that really helps out. If you want to get yourself a piece of merch, I have merch available. There's hoodies, hats, a bunch of different stuff. So get yourself something nice. Or if you still like to download music, I've got music on Bandcamp. You can download it for free, but if you'd like to support me, you can pay whatever price you'd like for the download as well. So those are just a few different ways you can support me. And lastly, if you want to stay up to date, like for this song, if you want to know when this song comes out, definitely be sure to sign up for my email list. Same link at the bottom. You can find a section where you can sign up for my email list. And this just allows me to notify you directly so that anytime I put out a new song, anytime I'm doing a live stream or I put out a new video, you can be notified about it so that you don't miss out. So definitely sign up for my email list if you want to stay up to date with all that. Speaking of songs, I've been working. This past week has been recording week for me. I recorded vocals earlier this week for the next song that I am going to release. Some of you might have heard me play it, my song, A Mirror That Was Broken. That song, I've recorded vocals for it this week. I recorded all the guitar parts and going to be bouncing that stuff out. If everything goes according to plan, I still have to edit the vocals, but if I get it all done this week, next week I'll begin the mixing stage. And so things are going pretty good. It's been I don't know, it's been a good process. It's going by a lot quicker than it usually does. It's still been, it's still work. It's still tough, but it's been enjoyable. It's been a good process. Indy, I appreciate you tuning in. Unfortunately, we're wrapping things up. Let me give you a little, I don't know if you got to hear what we were working on, but this is a song. I'll let you hear it real quick, and then we're going to wrap this up. I was just sharing everyone just kind of my process for songwriting. This is a song that I'm going to release later this year. It's not done yet. It's just a piano version. I'll kind of let you hear what we've got. This is the piano for it. This is the chorus.
Make choices, and yours are poison. How you're slowly killing off yourself and infecting everybody else.
Here's the bridge.
Somewhere in the distance, there's an ocean full of promise. If you wanna make a difference, then it's time to sink or swim.
Back to the chorus.
All make choices, and yours are poison. How you're slowly killing off yourself and infecting everybody else.
So I was just demonstrating. I've got the chorus. The words in the bridge, I don't know if they're going to be the final words. I haven't written the lyrics for the whole song. I just have the piano. And then I was just showing everyone how I kind of take that idea and start to form it into a first draft of what will eventually become a final version. So here's what we came up with. We added some instruments. Here's the bridge again.
In the distance, there's an ocean full of promise. If you wanna make a difference, then it's time to sink or swim.
And the chorus.
We all make choices, and yours are poison. How you're slowly killing off yourself while infecting everybody else. We all make choices.
So that's a little bit of it. It's kind of like, if you remember Love's Not Fair, how that starts off just acoustic guitar and then kind of gradually builds up. This song is going to be kind of similar with piano. It's going to start very raw and then gradually build in intensity and then just all out. And of course, when I'm kind of singing in my falsetto, when I actually do vocals, I imagine it very just desperate. So I'm going to be actually, belting those notes and almost screaming them. So yeah, definitely looking forward to bringing it about. Hey, Gary. Yeah, I'm about to wrap things up, but that was just a little sneak peek of what I was sharing, everyone. Beautiful. Really like the lyrics too. Yeah, thank you. Still working on them. They're not done yet, but Gary was saying, would have been here earlier, but working, folks, on the West Coast, has been getting home. Well, I appreciate you tuning in for a little bit. You might have to go back and revisit. Love that song. Yeah, if you were talking about Love's Not Fair. But Gary, if you heard that, yeah, I was just kind of demonstrating. This is an idea. This is a song I'll be releasing later this year. It's not done yet, but I was just kind of sharing how I take an idea. Like I've got the piano and I have the lyrics for the chorus, and then how I take that idea and actually turn it into start to turn it into a song. So this was kind of the first draft of that. Not really a first draft, kind of just a rough sample of it, but I'm pretty excited. I like the way it's coming out so far. There's still definitely a lot more to experiment with. Again, writing a song, it's more like discovering it than actually making it. You don't really know what you're making yet. You're just kind of experimenting with ideas and then seeing which way the song takes you. So I'm definitely excited about it, and definitely if you want to hear how the finished product comes out, stay tuned. If I get the song finished earlier, I'll actually start performing it in my streams, but the actual song, it's probably going to be the last song that I release this year, so the actual song won't be released till about November or December, something like that. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, if you want to show some support so I can bring you guys more music, the link is pinned at the top, so I definitely appreciate that. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, night, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Until next time.